Guys, this week started out awesome. I had my entire week planned out to the hilt. My calendar filled with all the time that I need to get my brand new course done and get my entire process run. I was so ready. It was like I was gonna knock this week out of the park. And then everything decided to just blow up and teach me a cold, hard lesson about real world productivity. One of my technicians from my technical team came and said, "Hey, Demir, can you take a look at this issue we're having with the course platform?" And I thought, sure, this can be 30 minutes. 5 hours later, still working on it. That was my Monday. Tuesday, putting out unexpected fires from issues all over, stuff blowing up from the weekend, employees. And then, I noticed a big mistake that'd been made and it needed my immediate attention. And so by the afternoon, I'm sitting there on Wednesday and everything is blown up and I'm moody and I'm tired, so frustrated, just feeling like my week is slipping out of my fingers, out of my control, despite my best intentions. Guys, have you ever had a week like this or a month like this? It is so frustrating and disheartening. And it wasn't until recently that we actually knew why this phenomenon happens. And thanks to new research from universities around the world, we now know there's a simple explanation for our daily productivity woes. And I've spent the last several years synthesizing this data into a step-by-step process you can use to master your time on a daily basis. So in this week's video, I'm gonna show you that time mastery strategy. And I'm gonna show you that time mastery isn't just one thing like we think it is, it's actually 4 things. Yeah, that's right. Time mastery isn't just one thing, it's 4 things, all 4 of which are linked like a chain, and if any one of them is broken, everything else goes to crap. Guys, if we try to focus on time management like it's one thing, we're missing out on 3 other critical pieces of the puzzle, and you just end up trying to work faster and more and harder, and it doesn't work. You end up gritting your teeth, trying to just force a square peg into a round hole. The answer is to stop trying to work fast and start working fast. What do I mean by that? Fast working, F-A-S-T, is our unique model of time management. And at its core, it's based on the idea that time management is something we fail to understand because we think it's one thing and it's actually 4 things. Think about it like 4 quadrants. It's focus, attitude, stamina, and time. I'll say that one more time. Focus, attitude, stamina, and time. That's right, when we say time mastery, it makes it sound like it's one thing. But if you take even one of these elements out of your time management, it renders everything else useless. So think about it. If you're great at planning your time and being well rested and staying positive, but you absolutely cannot focus at all, your time management is still gonna be crappy, no matter how good you are at the other things. Or maybe you can focus incredibly well and you're rested and you plan out your time well, but you've got a negative mindset about your work and you're consumed by a victim mentality. Similar result, you're going to be terrible at your time management and you're gonna feel terrible about your time management. All right, so let's get into these 4 elements: focus, attitude, stamina, and time, and I'm gonna explain what each of these contain and how they form a foundation for rock solid time management. So first element is focus. Focus, guys, is absolutely the most rare and valuable commodity in today's economy. And in fact, focus is actually more important than intelligence or talent. Yes, I said it. Because if you have the ability to focus, you can develop your talent. Now, the ability to focus is being eroded by the rise of multitasking, digital dementia, digital addiction, and the cost of all that new technology flooding the market and flooding your brain is really our ability to get things done has been massively eroded, and we're just buried in distractions and interruptions. And it's gotten so crazy that digital addiction is now considered a real thing. And it's just defined as when you continue using a piece of technology, whether it's email or games or Facebook or news media, to the point where it causes problems in your everyday life. And you can't stop without feeling agitated or uncomfortable when you don't use it. Now, when I ask people if that sounds true for them, almost 90% of our clients report having some degree of digital addiction. So to get the edge today, we need to master focus. We need to do what author Cal Newport calls deep work, which is long, extended periods of just really extreme focus. Now guys, there are specific tactics to develop focus like a muscle and start increasing the amount of time that you spend doing that deep work and really getting focused. But For right now, we're not gonna get into that. I just want you to remember that focus is the rarest commodity in the distraction economy, and thus it has become the most valuable. If you try to manage your time but you can't focus, you're gonna end up generating massive amounts of shallow work, which is work that just doesn't move you forward. Okay, second element is attitude. The attitude or the mindset that you bring to your work is critical. And it's all about managing what's happening in the 6 inches between your ears. Because even if you have a great plan, you're gonna find yourself failing if you have a bad attitude. I love what Tony Robbins says. You have a terrible plan, but a positive attitude, you're probably gonna succeed. You have a great plan with a terrible attitude, you're probably gonna fail. Because those negative voices in your head are telling you things like you're not good enough, I don't have the time, this stupid thing is keeping me from getting things done. And the truth is that we all have a constant internal monologue going on. And it's going on right this moment. It's called the itty bitty shitty committee. It's the chorus of voices in our head that are always running negative, telling us we're gonna fail, right? Now the itty bitty shitty committee is sort of like a bad parent. It's trying to protect you in all the wrong ways. And it's an evolutionary mechanism that's designed to keep us from pushing ourselves too hard or getting into any danger. But in today's world, it actually hurts more than it helps. And layered into this, we also face news media and social media that are wired negative by default. And there's a psychological cost to inviting those negative thoughts into your brain, right? And social media is already distracting at best, but it really becomes depressive over time when you consume a lot of it. And same thing with news media. It's a potent cocktail designed to elicit fear. So I hope you can see now how important it is to carefully manage your attitude. And it's often overlooked in time management because it's beneath the surface. So I want you to start noticing when you hear that itty bitty shitty committee pipe up during the day and when it starts affecting your work. Okay guys, stamina is the third element. This is all about managing your physical body. You know, guys, we have an anti-self, anti-body bias in modern culture today, particularly when it comes to productivity. Think about it. We're constantly trying to tell our body to just push harder, work longer. We're depriving it of exercise, we're depriving it of sleep, no play, no relaxation, just grind, grind, grind. And so what we're trying to do is deplete a finite resource and keep depleting that. So your stamina means your energy, the limits of what your body and your mind can produce. And the more that we deplete our body without giving back, the faster we burn out. Guys, it's a zero-sum game. So I want you to think about your body like a piece of beautiful, pristine farmland. You can't keep farming and farming on the same land without putting some fertilizer, some inputs into the land, or giving the land some rest so it can regenerate. So poor health, poor sleep, poor diet, these are giant contributors to terrible time management and productivity. Now, the result of being chronically exhausted is you go slower and you get a steady decline in your health and your peace of mind, right? And so many of my clients find that they have a constant low-level anxiety. And sometimes they're so used to it, they can't even tell it's there anymore. And that's because they're not rested. They haven't been rested for years. So, if you want to get more out of your mind and more out of your body, you need to put more in. You can't just keep harvesting fruit off the same tree. You either need to plant more trees or you need to give it a second to rest and so it can regenerate itself, right? It's the same with our body. Now, time is the fourth element, and this is the one you've probably read about in books and taken courses about, right? Time is the canvas that we all paint on, and we all have the same amount, and we're all worried about spending it in the right way. But I'm gonna wager that you're actually not concerned enough about your time. I mean, we talk about it all the time, we pay lip service to it, but if you realize just how finite your time was, you'd treat it like gold. It'd be the number one thing you'd be trying to save. Guys, the problem is time is elusive and it's hard to save. It's like money in our bank account. No matter how much we get, we never seem to have enough to do the things we want to do with it. So how do we begin to truly understand the value of our time? Well, first, we have to accept one hard truth. Our perspective on time is unreliable. When you ask an investment banker how much they work per week, they're gonna tell you 70 to 80 hours. But when you actually track their time down to the minute, it's more like 50 hours. And this has been proven over and over again with people in all different industries. The way we think we spend our time is dramatically different from how we actually spend our time. Funny story, one of my clients who's a lawyer just did a time audit exercise where she tracked her time by the half an hour for 7 days. And she was so convinced that she didn't have any time in her day. And she's a busy lawyer, she had a busy personal life, But she came back a week later and was shocked to find that she spent 12 hours a week consuming news and media. And she was just absolutely shocked. She couldn't believe it. She was almost crying because she didn't realize that she could spend that much time on something and not even know it. So guys, it's only after we know what's truly happening with our time that we can really start to get control of it and start telling our hours where we want them to go, allocating our time. Now, we need to ration our time like it's our most precious resource, because it is. We need to count it, we need to monitor it, we need to invest it to get a return. So guys, that's it. Fast working, F-A-S-T. Remember this acronym the next time you think, God, I just wish I could work faster, because it's the framework that underpins our success or failure when it comes to time management. Are you able to focus? Do you have the right attitude? Is your stamina in the right place? Have you taken care of your body? And are you tracking your time and you have real data on where it's going? Guys, we're gonna be doing a whole course on the FAST model that's being released in just a couple weeks. And because I want you to have all the tactics and the tools to get good at time mastery in all these 4 elements, I'm giving you access to the course at a rock bottom price. I want you to check out all the details for this new course below and learn how to pre-order the course for next to nothing. Guys, thanks, and I want to hear from you. Post a comment, let me know what you think about our FAST model for time management, and I want to hear about how you get your time management dialed up to the highest level in your day. Bye, guys.